Good afternoon. Welcome to Tesserarian Tales, the Bookhounds of London, Episode 2. Yay! My name is Richard. I will be your keeper of arcane lore for this afternoon. You have met our players before, and we don't have any sponsors or anything silly like that, so we're just going to get right into it.
You can sponsor me if you want, anybody.
We're not proud, as made clear by the fact that we're still using. All right. So, when last we left our Bookhounds, we met the crew of C.W. Bailey & Son Bookseller, store that ironically included neither C.W. Bailey nor his son, but is run by Old Man Bailey's daughter Anne, a hard-edged woman with a peculiar perspective. She is assisted by her catalog agent, Shaw Hughes, who applies a lifetime of rough education to a trade that proves rougher than one might imagine. Their academic and linguistic consultant, Professor Cuthbert Handley, whose burning need to know is leading him into new and eldritch vistas. And their restoration specialist, whether restoring a book to its original glory or to a glory or provenance it never had in the first place, Margaret McGill. The Bookhounds have been contracted by Mr. Johnstone Dives, a gentleman of leisure and a member of the Esoteric Commander Club, to lay hands on a particular copy of Caedus Urbi Vere Claves, or the True Keys to the City of Death. They learned, much to their dismay, that their arch-rivals in Fleet Street, Hathaway and Company Fine Books, already had a lead on the copy of the text to Dives was after, and they were attempting to broker a deal between the seller and a client of their own, an astronomer named Paul Fletcher. Never ones to let something as small as prior agreement or honest dealings get in their way, they went to work. They discovered that Hathaway's catalog agent, one Aston Drummel, had been slumming it in the East End in search of texts on Irish mythology, geometry, and Jack the Ripper. They further discovered that one of the books he had been looking into posited that the myths of London's own founding related to the legends of Baelor and Lugh, which were themselves reflections of far older stories whose origins are lost to a time before a sane hand would put them to paper, about dueling gods fighting over a third party. They also discovered that Drummel was seeking a book called Megapolissomancy by Thibault de Castries. The author's name provided immediate context, as the copy of Caedus Urbi Vere Claves that they sought was stolen from an Austrian church by Julian de Castries, passing it on to his own son Jerome on his death. Megapolissomancy posited a new science, quote-unquote, of cities, stating that since the time of the pyramids, they had acted more like necropoli, gathering the death energies of their residents to serve paramental forces. All of this would be merely amusing if the dark and odd didn't begin seeking our Bookhounds. Mr. Hughes and Miss McGill paid an illicit after-hours visit on Hathaway and Company, getting the name of the book's seller, one Ambrose Bower. In their escape, Miss McGill noticed a pair of eyes watching from a street drain, and then a third, incongruous eye. Professor Cuthbert, seeking information on Dives' rival, discovered that his astronomy career had come to a crashing halt after he tried to publish a paper raving that NGC 5189, also called the Baelor Nebula, with its unnatural eye balefully glowering at Earth, was somehow related to the fall of Troy, and that it portended some unspoken doom for mankind. Whispers and rumors came to horrible reality when Mr. Hughes and Miss McGill called on Bower's mother in Wapping, where they discovered the pensioner was dead, and then the air itself seemed to come to life, assaulting them and demanding to know where the book was in flashing letters of fire. They had barely escaped that situation and were attempting to convince Miss Bailey and Professor Handley of what had occurred, even as the other two were attempting to deal with the appearance of hard men in the employ of the gangster Mallet Magwitch, when the peace of the low-lit and closed bookshop was destroyed by the sound of splintering wood and breaking doors, the wet sliding of slime-covered flesh across the floor, and a terrible croaking of a thing that could not exist. 4 stubby arms, raised as if pleading with an uncaring god, ending in sharp scythes, around a congregation of eyes above a horrible mouth, all slapped haphazardly on a pony-sized toad body. It has come around the corner of the hall and now brays at you incoherently. You sense in your bones that it hates you. I would like you all to make a stability test, please.
Difficulty?
Difficulty is always 4.
Oh, it's always 4?
Yep.
Okay.
I did not get a 4.
Andrew did not. I've got 1. Jen?
3.
3. Keith?
5.
All right. So,
Not surprised.
Mr. Hughes passes. Miss McGill, Miss Bailey, and Professor Handley, you all lose 4 stability.
Whoa!
And 1 sanity.
Whoa!
As the thing with its small stubby arms snapping out sharply goes, Beatus! Beatus! And it's coming for you. So, I need everyone to tell me what they're doing.
The professor is going to...
It's going to try and cut someone apart. Professor?
Professor is going to pick up one of the typewriters he keeps around for taking notes on and throw it at the thing's face.
All right, and which skill will you be using to do that?
He's not trained in any, so...
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have athletics?
No.
Oh. Okay. Miss Bailey.
Will be, as I recall, I had pulled out my gun in response to the dangerous men outside.
Yes.
And so screaming a bit first, but also using firearms to shoot whatever
and
that
what is your rating in firearms?
6.
6. Miss McGill.
Do we have any like small chairs, like folding chairs or anything?
You have a couple of stools.
Okay, it's gonna get a stool in the face then.
All right, and what skill will you be using to give it your stool sample?
I have a better athletics than scuffling, so can I use athletics?
I will let you use athletics. What is your rating in athletics?
That is an 8.
And Mr. Hughes.
Mr. Hughes will be pulling out a trench knife, but will not rush in to engage it.
Okay. You have to get within knife range, one presumes.
Right. He will position himself so that he is between it and Maggie, though.
All right.
That would be difficult because Maggie's throwing a stool at it.
Well, it could lead to some shenanigans at any rate. Mr. Hughes, what is your rating in weapons? Or rating in weapons, whichever.
Both 4.
All right. Then, the first person to go is the Nagaae. As it slithers forward. And its first action is not actually to claw, because it's got kind of stubby sort of T-Rex arms. But it opens its maw, and this long forked tongue flashes out and attempts to slap Mr. Hughes across the face with a viscous sort of greenish goo. And he's gonna spend that much. And he is going to hit Mr. Hughes. So, Mr. Hughes, first, the good news. You lose 3 health. Second, the bad news. I need you to make a health test. Difficulty 4.
One.
Oh. So when it slaps you, that stings, but the chemicals burn for just a moment, and suddenly it feels a bit like your eyes have suddenly violently dilated, and the world expands and contracts like you're staring through a fisheye lens, and you lose 7 stability.
Ooh, okay. Whew.
What is your current stability rating, sir?
With the losses from last time, that puts me at -1.
-1. Congratulations, you are now shaken. Let's see. A brief review. If you are shaken, you can still do your job but seem distracted. You can't spend points from the pools of your investigative abilities, and all your difficulty numbers go up by 1. Just for my own reference, what is everybody else's stability currently at?
6.
Did I lose stability last?
I believe you lost some. I don't remember how much.
I'm checking my notes.
I also need to check my notes. One moment.
That's not it. It's also not it.
All right. Well, Jen, let's have you go. You are next in the initiative order.
Okay.
So go ahead and take your athletics test to try and brain this thing with a stool. You hurl a stool at it.
6.
6. That will be a palpable hit. We're going to go ahead and call this a improvised weapon, so we'll give it +0. So roll a d6.
4.
4. It goes crashing into it, catching it in a couple of its eyes, and the sky sort of moves up and down to slash it. Yes. It looks angry. Anne.
Yes? Shooting.
It is to you.
My stability is currently 6.
Okay.
And I am going to go ahead and spend from firearms.
Go for it.
I'll spend 2.
I gotta tap out. Be back in 2 minutes.
Okay.
And that will give me die on the floor. Let me try again. Six.
6 will hit. And your gun. We will call this close range, presuming you wish to be more than 3 feet away from it, which will be a +0 to your damage. So d6 +0.
Okay. 2.
2. So when you fire, you catch it sort of on the shoulder, and the bullet actually sparks a little and skims off as the hide wiggles in a very sort of old Jello-like fashion.
Yeah.
But the bullet does not seem to pierce its hide.
Right.
Mr. Hughes.
Well, stumbling a bit now that he's seeing the world in a fun sloshy kaleidoscope, but incensed, he will charge at it.
Do it.
And to bury a trench knife in it. I can't spend. Well, you said I can't spend from investigative.
From investigative. You can
But
spend
general,
one.
well, yeah, I'll spend 1.
Okay.
So our difficulty's just been increased by 1, so it should even out. In theory, yes, 6.
6 hits. Trench knife will do -1. So d6 -1.
3.
3. So you rush up, you jam your blade forward, and it starts to scrape into the flesh, sort of like cutting a cold roast. The professor, who has no skill, lifts a typewriter and attempts to hurl it skyward. It crashes to the ground. So, now it's the Nagaae's turn again. And it has someone right there.
Oh, God.
And in this case, instead of lashing out its tongue, it just opens its maw and attempts to bite you.
Am I going to die in session 2? Yes, I am.
Please don't.
Well.
So it's going to hit you.
Uh-huh.
It's going to do 2 points of health.
Okay.
And then I need you to make a health test.
Uh-huh.
Is this something he can spend on?
Yes.
Well, okay, but...
Oh, right. But that's one of those death spiral things.
There is a law of diminishing returns in there.
Right.
Yes. Okay. 3.
3. So, the bite is so the good news is you don't lose any more stability. The bad news is -7 health. As the teeth dig into you, you see this glistening sort of greenish goo sliding into your flesh and causing the veins to ripple outward. And as your blood pumps out over it, it literally blackens as it touches the air.
So that puts me at -2.
Okay.
So
at -2 health, you are hurt.
Okay.
Now the good news, it works a lot like Shaken. Your investigative ability spends are not permitted, and the difficulties of all your tests go up by 1. And yes, that is cumulative with being Shaken.
Okay, fun. Cool.
And now I need you to make a consciousness roll.
Oh. I forgot to put points in that general ability. I'm assuming it's a health roll.
So it is a health test.
Yeah, no. 2.
Okay. So everyone else sees Shaw run forward, scrape at it with its knife. It turns and bites him and sort of latches onto his shoulder and shakes him around. And Shaw turns, flecks of spittle flying from his mouth, and he's starting to foam a little bit. And he shakes, and it loses. It opens its mouth for a moment, and he slides out of it. And Shaw waves back and forth and collapses to the ground. The creature looks down at the prone form of Mr. Hughes and goes, Miss McGill.
I'm going to pull Shaw back.
All right.
There.
Give me an athletics test.
4.
4. So you grab his foot and start to drag him away. Miss Bailey.
I'm going to help Maggie and Professor open the door.
All right. Give me an athletics test.
4.
4. So the two of you start getting him moving. The professor, having failed to do any significant damage with the typewriter, obeys Anne's command and runs over and opens the door.
That sounds very sensible.
All right. Well, it's the Nagaae's turn one more time. As his meal is being dragged away from him.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
He's going to take exception to that.
Yeah.
And I think, let's see. High or low, Miss McGill?
Hi.
Tag, you're it. It slubs forward and lashes out its tongue at you. Do that. It will miss you.
Yeah!
Because you have an athletics of 8.
Yeah!
All right. Now I need... Is anyone staying to dance with the Nagaae? Then I need everyone to give me an athletics or fleeing test as you choose.
Does it matter that we're trying to drag away unconscious?
Yes.
So we can't really flee.
Well, you can. It's the difficulty's increased.
Okay.
I get a 6.
I'm going to spend 2 out of athletics.
Okay. The professor is down the street.
And I rolled a 6.
Miss McGill is possibly going to make it. Miss Bailey?
Fleeing 5.
5. All right. Everyone piles out of the store onto the darkened London street. Mr. Hughes his head may thump a little on the sidewalk as you go. But for a few minutes at least, everyone just runs. And about a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, you stop to catch your breath. And no one appears to have been following you. You do a quick check to see if anybody notices the 2 women dragging the bloody body down the street. Nope. Not yet, at least. And you stop on the corner.
We've got to get him to a doctor.
No argument there.
Mr. Hughes. A minute having passed, I need you to lose another point of health, please.
Oof. Aye, aye.
Let me know when you get to -6.
Do any of you know first aid or anything like that?
Oh,
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna back up a bit.
I have,
So
yes, I have first aid and medicine.
Well, do something, somebody.
Your skin is turning kind of gray.
Oh,
Could I? So, I believe he is. In addition to his bloody wounds, he has been poisoned.
it looks like that.
Yep.
Okay, in that case, I will spend points of preparedness to have on my person some bandages, with which I'll try and bind his wounds using his knife, which he has to cut the bandages, and then we will figure it out. Figure out the next steps. I will spend how many points of preparedness? 3 points.
Well, first, here, you make a preparedness test. Difficulty's 3.
Mm-hmm. And I'll spend 1 point.
Okay.
I rolled a 4, so that's good.
All right. So you have bandages and knife,
Yep.
and now you can spend first aid points to restore health, Mr. Hughes.
Oh, very good. I've got 5 points total, so I'm going to spend 3 right now.
All right. And Mr. Hughes, what will that bring you up to?
That puts me back to 0.
Okay. So, binding the wounds, stopping the bleeding. The shift in the various new and exciting holes in your body causes you to return to consciousness. So you still feel kind of like you want to throw up.
Welcome back, Hughes.
All right, we still need to go to the hospital. Sorry. And get off the street.
I agree.
Do I know of the nearest hospital?
Yes, absolutely. You have the medicine skill. You find your way rapidly to a hospital where, as you walk in with the bloody guy, several nurses immediately take him in hand.
So he's been poisoned by a rather large swarm of toads.
The nurses stop and look at you for a second.
That's okay. So do I.
So does that. So does Maggie.
Everyone stops and stares at Cuthbert for a second.
Well, don't just stand there. Carry on.
And they haul him away. And the three of you are left standing in the lobby of the hospital.
Well, that was rather unusual.
You know, I think there's something wrong with you.
Okay.
Does anyone have any idea what that was?
I think it's the thing that I saw watching me last night.
Well, that's not terribly helpful.
I spent extensive time at London Zoo, and I've never seen anything quite like that.
I think that's one of Brigitte's pets. That would be my guess anyway.
Doesn't make any sense at all. All right. Fine. So, let's say for the moment it doesn't matter exactly what it is. Now it's in my shop. How did it get in there?
I've no idea.
And this is where we pause and everyone says, "Thank you, Andrew."
Yeah.
You're
I have a
welcome.
great idea. There's a basement no one knows about.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Just keep it interesting.
Absolutely. I did not mean that sarcastically. So the first thing we need to do is get, once we're sure that Shaw is
Well, it's all
all
right.
right, is get it out of there.
Maybe it'll just leave?
I'm not sure that's a good thing. I'd rather know where it was.
I'd rather it not be in the shop. I mean, I feel bad for whoever runs into it, but
Wait, did we close the door behind us?
don't think so.
Whoever runs into what?
Who that?
A man in a tweed suit with a mustache that appears to just envelop the bottom half of his face. I'm Detective Sergeant Garvey. The nurses informed me that you brought in a man who was bleeding.
Yes.
He was attacked by some sort of animal.
He pulls out a small pad of paper, opens it, pulls out a pen. Can you describe the animal?
I look at Anne.
It was a dog.
Any idea what breed?
Don't.
A mastiff of some hound. It was rather large.
Very large.
It was definitely large.
I'm sorry, your names are?
Oh, hi, I'm Maggie. Maggie McGill.
Anne Bailey.
Professor Handley of St. Edmund's Hall, Oxford.
And the victim's name?
Shaw Hughes.
Where did this attack take place?
It was in our bookstore. He was getting some stuff out from one of the back rooms, and next thing we know, he's bleeding.
Next thing you know, a mastiff in your shop?
Yes, we wonder if...
Must have been in the back room.
Don't know how it could have got in there. Maybe someone put it there.
Don't worry. We'll be looking into it.
Do any of you wish to file a formal complaint?
Well, if we can find out who put it in there, then of course we shall. But not at the moment.
We'll not be filing a complaint against a dog.
Well, I suppose the point is, do you want me to send some patrolmen by to look into your shop?
No, I don't think that'd be necessary. It's just a dog.
All right. Thank you. Be in touch to have you sign some things.
Have a pleasant evening.
Mr. Hughes, would you give me a health test, please? Normally it would be difficulty 4. It's a little higher right now.
It's a little bit. So that normally would have worked, but no, 4.
Okay. So you're going to lose 3 more health before they stop the poison. And where does that put you?
-3.
-3. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Does that mean he's unconscious?
He does pass out while in the hospital, yes.
That's probably for the best.
The 3 of you are waiting for about an hour. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I am going to go to a milk bar and get some milk for us all.
All right. The professor wanders out into the night in search of dairy. Miss Bailey, Miss McGill?
Staying here.
I think we need to enumerate our problems.
What do you mean?
We've several, and I can't decide if they're related.
All right.
So, you found what you found in that flat. When you get back, and in addition to that, we'd a visit during the day from Von Kant. And then at the end of the day, we have the
what we have, yes.
Additionally, we're looking for a book. That also our rivals are looking for. So what are the connections? You said that the dog might have been her pet.
Right. And might have been watching the other shop where we went last night. And then on the way out, I thought I saw something watching us, which might have been that. And so if it does, and then what's his name? Catalog agent for the other store.
Drummel.
Thank you, Drummel. Drummel said something about Von Kant and her pets or something. So if this is one of those, and then perhaps she had one watching their store and one watching our store.
And where precisely did you see? You said outside the shop.
What's that? Oh, it was over at the other one, not at ours, but at the other one. It was in the sewer grating across the street, where it was the curb goes up a little bit, and there's a bit of a space there, and I could see some eyes.
In the sewer now. We need to go back to the shop eventually.
Well, eventually, yes, of course.
I'm having trouble making connections. So, if we think it's her pet, acknowledging we don't even really know what it was, but if we go with that, why send it into our shop?
Well, if it was supposed to be looking for just to sort of keep track of the comings and goings, I don't know why it would have come out, but
see, that's that's my concern, is that someone thinks we have something we don't.
Unless we do.
Do we?
Well, I don't know if what we saw at the flat, I mean, it couldn't tell, could it? What had happened to us. But we had just said, right? We were telling you about what had just happened.
But what would be the point of hurting anyone at that point? So my concern is that Von Kant came looking for the book, same as everyone else is looking for the book.
Mm.
And
maybe it was supposed to poison all of us and then go get her.
But my point being that perhaps someone thinks we have that book.
Right. I don't know. But it was right after we were telling you about the words in the air about the book, right? Wasn't it?
It was. Do you think it could hear and understand us?
I've no idea. I mean, we're way beyond anything normal at this point.
So before the doctor comes up to approach you, both of you are aware, because this is something you had discussed. Something as you're thinking about the thing that you saw, and the word it was sort of croaking out.
Beatus?
Beatus, which is related to something you've researched already.
Oh.
In that obscure book by Mr. Crap about Irish mythology and its connections.
Yep.
One version of that myth features a one-eyed giant named, in Serbian, Vui, or in Thracian, Viatus.
Viatus.
And the eye of Viatus must be propped open or held open by servants in order to release its baleful power. So that little bit of esoteric trivia is rummaging about your minds as the doctor comes up, goes, the nurses tell me you are here with Mr. Hughes?
Yes. I'm its cousin.
You may go see him now.
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Hughes, you have been restored to a health of 1.
Huzzah!
You don't feel great.
No.
Also, you have not had any of your stability restored, so
Yeah, still not feeling so hot.
But when you wake up, you're in a hospital bed. Your clothes still somewhat ragged, are on a chair. You are in a hospital gown. The blood stains turned black in places just seem to look at you like some cross between a wound and a mouth that would like to reach out and get you. And that's when the door opens and Miss Bailey and Miss McGill come in.
He visibly jumps at the sound of the door.
It's just us. It's just us.
Right.
Good to see you awake.
You all right? Is everyone?
We're all right. Yes.
What happened?
That so there was a dog, is what we're saying it was. And there was this dog, and it was in the shop, and it got very, very angry and very cross, and I threw a stool at it, and the professor tried to throw a typewriter at it and didn't do so well with it, and tried to shoot it, and that didn't go so well, and you tried to stab it, and that didn't go so well for you.
Is everyone else all right?
Yes, we're all fine. We got the hell out of there pretty quick.
Good.
Professor was the one that patched you up before you wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for him.
Well, I owe him a drink later.
You do. A milk, probably.
No.
As if summoned by force, the door opens, and the professor walks in with a small cart with 4 small bottles of milk.
Did someone say milk? Ah, Hughes, you're looking right as rain. Drink this.
Maggie takes the bottle, fishes around in her bag for a flask. Do you want me to make a preparedness check for that, or just no? Okay. She has a sip of milk to make a little bit of room. Puts some alcohol in it. Drinks a little bit more. Puts a little bit more alcohol in it, and then gives it to Shaw.
I'll pretend I didn't see that.
You pretend whatever you want, mate.
Yeah, Shaw chugs it.
So I've been racking my brain trying to figure out the provenance of said dog. And I'm reminded of some legends about they call them the serpents or the dolphins sometimes of the Thames. Strange non-dolphin-like creatures which were seen as recently as about 30 years ago near Embankment. Perhaps it was one of those. I hear tales of a dinosaur living in Loch Ness in Scotland, after all.
Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, remind me, does anyone have any rating in Cthulhu Mythos yet?
Nope.
Okay. Seems as reasonable an explanation as any other.
Hang on 1 second. I need to check my
I was gonna say,
actually, didn't you pick up a couple points?
I think maybe Cuthbert did.
Yeah.
I picked up points in magic.
Oh, maybe that was it.
Let me see. I put in magic and occult. So no mythos.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got one in occult, but yeah.
Is the dog still
We left.
there? So
It might still be there, or I don't know.
We don't know. We need to go check.
It's manning the till.
How are we gonna? What's the plan?
There isn't one yet. We were waiting to make sure that you were all right.
I'll be fine.
Well, you look fine.
We could see if the constabulary can help us locally.
And what precisely would we be telling them to look out for?
We would tell them that
A mastiff.
a mastiff and an eccentric person carrying many toads came into our store.
It is at that point that Anne just reaches out a hand toward Maggie and says, "Might I take a
Yes.
pull?"
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Sorry. Here.
Perhaps we were all subject to some hallucinogenic toxin in the binding of one of our old books. I mean, this would be reasonable.
And you think sniffing glue did this?
No. But it can't have been what we thought it was, could it?
Oh, it can.
I don't know.
If it can, then what does that mean?
Well, I don't.
Impossible things.
You're the professor.
Exactly.
What does it mean?
It means we're mistaken. It's the only logical explanation.
Mistaken or not, I need to go back and check on the shop. So, there hasn't been, so that we've noticed, a general hue and cry in the streets, which I would think, if that dog had escaped to the streets, we'd have heard about it. There's been others coming in.
How long has it been?
About an hour. So, my point is, I'm going back to have a look at what's
I'll
going
come
on.
with you.
Yeah, so I think we should all go.
Yeah.
Well, no, you should rest. You are in no shape to be doing anything.
I'll offer the counter. Maggie, I understand your concerns. However, I'm uncertain we should leave him by his lonesome.
Aye, yeah, fair.
How do you feel?
I could walk, I think.
Well, you better be able to, because you're damned heavy.
She's not kidding.
I think it was a bread box. Oh, and he'll tentatively swing his legs over the side of the bed. Change of clothes.
Right, yes. Let me go down and speak with the nurses or something.
Thank you.
I have a quick question about a thing I missed.
Mm-hmm.
When Shaw heroically attacked the being with his knife, is he successful at making contact?
He was. It carved in a little bit, it seemed to.
I would like to take a look at his knife and see if I can identify any non-human blood on it somehow. Like if there's any strange colored goo, for example.
Is there a particular investigative ability you'd like to use?
Medicine?
Yeah, probably. Let me see if I've got anything better. Yeah, medicine and forensics, I've got 1 point. Biology, I've got 1 point.
Okay. So you take a look at it, as Maggie is going to try and get a non-bloody shirt for her cousin, you take a look at it. It does look a little like dissected frog, just on a visual glance, but it's you know that how much time has passed, and the knife has been sitting with his bloody clothes for going on 90 minutes now, and this stuff has not congealed.
How strange. I'm going to say, Miss McGill, may I borrow some of your gin you keep in that flask?
Of course.
Okay, I'm gonna rinse out my milk bottle with water, then rinse it out with a bit of gin, throw that away, and put some of the gunk into the bottle of milk for further study.
Excellent. Give me a health test.
3.
3. So you're sliding it along. You're sliding along the top of the milk bottle. You're doing pretty good, and then just a little of it slides onto your thumb, and you go kind of shake it off, and you can immediately feel that burning and tingling sensation, almost like a chemical burn.
Oh yeah.
And have you ever had an IV that you like when they put a shot into you and you could feel it sort of traveling up your arm? So there's this sort of cold and shivering sensation, runs up your arm, comes up to your neck, and right around there is where everything goes fish-lensed, and you lose 7 stability.
He makes that noise.
I try and gently set the flask down and then flop over onto the bed.
Okay, so you see him set the flask down near a sink in the room. He sort of stumbles back and falls over next to Shaw.
You all right, Professor?
Oh dear, no.
What happened?
Oh. Just be very careful.
Of what?
You didn't actually drink any of the gin, did you?
Oh dear, no. This is worse.
Worse than gin, I know.
I think I got some of that gunk on me. It's numbing. I wonder if this is what opium's like.
It's not, first of all. But no, I think you should stay there for a couple of minutes. It's quite unpleasant.
All right, so clearly we can't leave any of this lying about. We've got to make sure we get to all of it.
So, Shaw, you were given a work shirt to replace the ruin that is the top half of your suit.
And I checked with the nurse to make sure it's okay that he's all right to go.
So the nurse sort of crosses her arms. I mean, he looks like he's had a pretty bad bite, and we think we got all of the poison out, but we're really not sure. It would be best if we kept him overnight. But, I mean, we can't hold him.
Well, yes. I think getting him home would do him a world of good, and if anything else seems amiss, we'll definitely bring him right back straight away.
I have quite a complete apothecary's cabinet at home, all that, you know.
Well, yes, and the professor's got it well sorted, so.
The professor, who's lounging across the bed.
Yes.
I stood up too quickly. That's all.
Quietly, and goes, "Please don't help right now."
The nurse looks at all of you, looks at Shaw, goes, "So you said someone said it was a dog bite?"
Big mastiff.
She looks at all of you as as though she's seen a dog bite before.
All right.
We think he might have gotten a snake bite as well, possibly.
But don't you worry about it. I'm sure it'll all come out in the... They were going to investigate, say they said something about it. But we'll definitely alert someone if we think it's gotten out or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure it'll be taken care of. Reassurance.
All right. You look at her with your serious Irish mammy face. She seems slightly taken aback and goes, "Oh, all right. It's just whatever that toxin was. It's not acting like any poison we've seen. It's very strange. And
Strange how?
Doctor doesn't like me talking this way, but I'd say it was aggressive. It's like it was trying to get away from our syringes as we were pulling it out. You could see it sort of trying to escape. They tell me it's a flight of fancy, but you be careful, is all I'm saying.
We will. We will.
The nurse leaves you in the room to sort yourselves out.
I really hope
What do you?
they didn't keep any of it.
Hope so as well. But I guess if you're going to if you're going to be in that sort of state, this is a place to have it happen, eh?
How would you get rid of something like that? What do they do with poisons they've taken from people? Where do those go?
Depending on the quality of the establishment, they'll either burn it or throw it in the Thames.
And is this a place of quality, you think?
Thames is a good place for that stuff.
I need everyone to make a stability test, please. As that line comes out.
Yeah, sorry guys. What happens if I'm at -1?
It's still difficulty 4.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, difficulty 5, since your difficulty's increased.
Okay. I did not pass.
Okay, so it looks like both the ladies passed, and both of our already shaken people did not. So this is only a 1-point hit. It's a oh no, it's going in the Thames. But both of you do lose another point of stability.
Maggie takes a hit of gin.
I don't know what Maggie's actual pillars of sanity are, but one of them should be her flask.
Yeah, good point.
All right, where
So
to?
back to the shop.
That is where I'm going. Some of y'all are coming with.
Hi.
I'm with you.
Maggie kind of half supports, gives an arm to Shaw.
Yeah, he's taking it slowly.
Unsteady.
He's taking it slowly. He is not in a hurry for a variety of reasons.
Well,
Gently.
you know, actually, the card's at the shop.
Do you want me to go back and get it?
I was thinking one of us could go back and get it, but I don't want any of us to go alone. Let's take a cab.
Good plan.
And we're just frozen on a grin.
Yeah, that was really creepy, man.
All right. You hail a cab. You're taken back around to your shop. You're let out in front of a darkened building. There's no lights on. The door is hanging open. It's quiet.
Shall we fetch the constabulary?
I'd like to file a report.
We'll tell them that we just went out, and when we came back, the door to our shop is open, and we're understandably concerned about ne'er-do-wells.
Professor?
Yes.
Oh, and there were people loitering about before, weren't there? Mallets, right?
The mallets, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you expect they would do if it's still there?
Well, I was more thinking of...
They would go in before us and give us time to run.
I was thinking if anyone else had gone in the interim, they may have ransacked the place, in which case we would need the officers to be able to, to take their notes.
And if the dog is still there?
Well, then...
They got batons, That's...
I had a gun.
I know. Well, it did seem like it took more... It seemed like the... Well, correct me if I'm wrong. It did seem like when we hit it, it actually did more damage than when you shot at it, didn't it?
The knife, perhaps.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm not calling anyone. Does anyone have a torch? Oh wait, I have preparedness. Do I have a torch?
Difficulty 2, preparedness test.
I think it has 6. That's a waste of a 6.
You do indeed have a torch.
I mean, because this is a question. Okay, so you said the building was darkened.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It wasn't darkened when we left.
Nope.
We didn't turn the lights off.
Nope.
Nope.
That's why I wonder if we've been robbed.
Well, you think they took the electricity?
Yes. No, I think they may have gone in with their own torches, turned off the electricity.
No, I know.
Considering what we've seen today,
click on your torch, which flickers once, twice, comes to feeble life, casting a sort of yellowish glow that opens the doorway, that shows into the doorway, where you can still see the smear of blood coming out of the door and running down the sidewalk that Mr. Hughes has left almost like a red carpet welcoming you in.
You're welcome.
So
at the very edge of the light, you can see at least a couple of books that appear to be lying open, scattered across the floor.
So I look at injured Shaw, and then I look at the professor, and I go, well, it's a woman then, isn't it? And I go into the shop.
Yeah.
Okay. Is anyone else going into the shop?
I will set Shaw down on the curb across the street. And then set the professor down next to him. And then go join Anne.
Okay. So, Anne, you are the first one in the shop?
Shout if you hear anything.
While Maggie is handling logistics of the shaken men, you walk into the shop all alone.
Yep.
Books are scattered across the floor. At least one of your bookshelves has been tipped over. You follow the blood smear of Mr. Hughes back to a spot where there's still a great pool of slime, now discolored by Shaw's blood, just a little bit into it.
I avoid the hell out of that shit.
And you can see the slime trail moving out of the main store area into the hallway that leads back towards where you have the broom closet. I need you to give me a stability test.
Oh. 1.
You lose 1 point of stability
Yep.
as the horror of what happened replays in your mind.
Right.
It's
Well,
gone
I'm
fast.
not. Sorry.
It's going fast, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not actually going into anywhere that might be dangerous until I have company.
Okay. So you wait a minute, looking around. Your light, everywhere your light flashes as it moves from place to place. You don't see any movement. But of course, it only covers like maybe about 3 feet worth of space as you go. And then there's a hand on your shoulder.
Damn it, Maggie.
I didn't mean to scare you.
I swing. I swing the torch.
You spin around and there's Maggie.
Hey! Just want to make sure you're all right.
I'm fine.
You don't look fine. I don't think any of us are fine.
I need to check the lights. Let's try them.
Yes, absolutely. So go over to light switch.
Sure. You flip it, the lights come on. As you recall, when you left, your store was closed, and so you have most of the main lights off from lamp on the register desk, which has been turned over, and you can see the broken remains.
Gotcha.
Of that lamp on the floor.
Okay. Now the lights are on. Go check the till.
The till is on the floor, but appears to be secure. Other than the tipped over bookcase, which has scattered a bunch of books everywhere, and the large slime trail moving down the hallway from some eldritch creature from who knows where, the store seems to be fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. You said dog wrong.
Regional pronunciation. All right. Do we still have our squiz?
Kitty.
Your copy of Megapolissomancy is still in the cabinet.
Excellent.
Kitty.
All right. Well, let me go get the boys and get them in here, and we'll start cleaning up.
1 second, sorry.
So I'll go let the boys know that it looks like it's all right, and help them up, and help them into the shop, and start picking up books.
I'm going to check the broom closet.
Do you want me to come with you?
So as Shaw and Cuthbert start picking up books, maybe Cuthbert trying to tilt the bookshelf back into place, Anne and Maggie follow the slime trail around the corner and back down the hall. It looks right now sort of like a water stain down the wood in the middle until it reaches the broom closet, whose door has been seemingly blasted off of its hinges. It is hanging by one metal chunk at the bottom and hanging at sort of a weird angle. As you turn the corner into the broom closet, the cleaning implements have been scattered out into the hallway, and the floor of the broom closet is now a very large hole.
Does it look like like it was cut or that it was broken?
It looks like the planks of the wooden slats of the floor were smashed open.
Okay.
They're broken and jagged.
Broken from the bottom up or from the top down?
Yes, all of the wooden planks are scattered upwards and mixed in with the broom mop bucket. And in that hole, you see what looks like a sloping tunnel.
So, taking a deep breath and listening for the sting in the music, I shine my torch down the hole.
Well, it takes a second for you to adjust your eyes because you have the lights on above you, and so you don't get as much glow down there. But in the dim yellow, you can see. It just looks like a rock, an open rock passage that goes maybe more than the 30 some odd feet that you're of light that it gives you, and appears to keep going down.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Well, that's not good. All right. So that's a thing we need to be aware of then.
I
What's that?
pick up the mop
Yeah.
from the rubble
Okay.
and walk it slowly back out and hand it to Shaw.
Is there is there a shovel like for like a snow shovel?
Yes.
Because we're not touching that goo. So I think a shovel's probably the best thing for it.
Some of it's soaked in.
And have we got rubber gloves? Like for actually, is that a 30s thing?
I was gonna say I'm not sure.
I'm not either. Roll D6.
2.
Surely there are protective gloves
Something, yeah.
one could have.
Yes, you have a pair of.
It could be leather.
You have a pair of heavy leather gloves.
All right, so
I mean, modern, we know that's porous and not good, but
better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to cleaning this up then.
All right.
we clean and determinedly ignore the hole in the floor in the back of the bookshop.
All right.
Hey, Shaw, by the way, there's a giant hole in the back of the bookshop. just so, and Professor, just so that we all know.
You what?
No, we about it. There's a hole. That's where that dog came from. It came up through the floor of the broom closet, and we're not going back there right now.
Well, did you just leave it open?
Or should you have a stool?
What are we gonna do?
Put something heavy on top of it.
Like what?
We have a bunch of bookshelves.
Oh yeah, let's throw books down into the hole. Yeah, that'll help.
No, that's not what I meant.
No, let me point this out. It came through the floor and then
broke the
through
boards.
the door.
Yes.
We don't have anything.
Park the car on it. All right.
I mean, like a refrigerator's the only thing I can think of.
You manage to remove the slime and blood from the floor without further incident.
Also going to mop the street out in front to get rid of the blood trail.
Yeah.
From Shaw.
And
it is at this point probably about 1 o'clock in the morning, and so you do pass one patrolman who walks by, goes, "Evening." Looks at you a little strange, but keeps on walking as you're mopping blood from the sidewalk.
Good.
So.
And we have a moment as we watch this dirtied water go down the drains.
Into the Thames. All right.
Yep. Sorry. All right.
So
I think we need to sleep.
I think you're right.
can you?
Did you want to go back to hospital?
Sure,
If-
you all right? You want to stay on my couch?
I don't want to be alone, but
Couch it is. Couch it is. It's very comfy couch.
all right. Not gonna fight you on that. Couch it is.
All right. So you two head back to Miss McGill's place.
Mm-hmm.
And I presume you live above the shop?
Do I? How terrible.
That's why Shaw was like,
If
Sure.
Anne would like to crash at Maggie's, she is, of course, welcome.
well,
And the professor. I mean, everyone can just, it'd be a slumber party.
how improper.
Yeah. Unmarried women and men. Oh noes. And actually, I will not say anything as they go. I will let them go.
All right. So Maggie and Shaw head off. And where are you sleeping?
I'm sleeping in the front of the bookshop.
Okay. The professor, still muttering to himself, shuffles off to seek rest. And that is where we're going to take our break. Because it seems to be a good time, and it's right about 5 o'clock, or it's about 10 till 5. So we will break now for 10 minutes and change and pick this back up right at 5.
Nice.
Hello.
You're back just in time. We're taking our break now.
Oh,
So we're on break. We're on break until 5 o'clock.
okay.
Hello.
So in the last few moments, the ladies were coming to fetch the gentleman back into the store.
Yes. And you had managed to clean yourselves up. Some important notes mechanically for those of you who have lost stability and health, which is, I think, all of you. If your health ever drops to -6 or lower, that being seriously injured, you have to spend time in hospital in order to recover. Otherwise, absent first aid, you recover 2 health points per day. For stability, so the good news is your stability automatically fully refreshes between adventures.
So we just have to survive.
That is for that. That is for that.
It doesn't require visiting a source of stability.
It does. If you don't visit your sources, if your sources of stability are not still there at the end of the adventure, you refresh nothing.
Right.
You could spend time at a source of stability during the adventure, and if you provide some quality role playing that enhances the game experience, I can reward you up to 2 stability points back.
Because I know Shaw and Maggie have both got pubs, so.
Yep.
And I've got a milk bar.
We can do a pub crawl. And maybe include the milk bar. I don't know.
Yes.
All right. So,
It's like a palate cleanser. Bless you.
there you go. So, for my reference, I will ask once again, everyone please give me your current stability and then your current health.
Professor is -2 stability and 10 health.
Health.
Shaw is at health 1 and stability -2.
Maggie is at health 8 and stability 1.
Okay, you're muted.
You're still muted.
I turned on the video, forgot to turn back on the sound. Okay, so health 8, stability 5.
All right. Cool. So far to go before anything really bad happens. 1 second.
Disagree. Really bad things have already happened.
But not the worst things.
permanently bad things have not yet happened.
On the cosmic scale.
All right. So, everyone has a fitful night of sleep.
I spend a lot of time reading the family Bible before I fall asleep.
Okay. Very good. Professor and Shaw, I need you both, as you sleep, to give me stability tests.
Yay!
And the difficulty is up by 1 because I am shaken, and I rolled
Correct.
3.
5 for me, which I actually think passes unless they're outside.
So, Mr. Hughes, you will in a few hours regain 2 points of health. Professor Handley, you will not regain health or stability as you are besieged by nightmares of gigantic frogs. And what's really disturbing about it is that now there's like an ocean of them. Their little hands all waving in the air, and they appear to be almost like singing. Like you've been to Church of England. They all stand and sing to the front of the church. Only in this case, the front of the church is the Baelor Nebula glowering back at them. So, morning comes. What y'all doing?
I'm going to go to get a Coca-Cola and Danish pastry from the milk bar, and then head to the shop where I will review some academic papers. Probably a bit twitchy.
A bit. Boy.
Maggie makes pancakes and Irish coffee with lots of whiskey for breakfast. So she's a good hostess.
I straightened the books and gonna have to discard any that look slimed. Just can't.
The good news is none of them look slimed. It looks like a few of them might have some blood spots on them.
Those can stay. That's probably just Shaw.
Gives the book's character.
Well, that I think actually Maggie can fix.
Yes.
I don't know if
I can give them more character or less character if you wish.
And more character with less blood is the...
Mr. Hughes, this morning, everything hurts.
Well, he's very, very appreciative of the Irish coffee then. Take some of the edge off.
You're pretty sure one of your ribs is grinding a little bit.
Does my jump up to health 3 happen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we established during the break, I looked up first aid. For every point you spend, you regenerate 2 points of health for other people. If you spend first aid on yourself, it's 1 for 1.
As for what to do.
I presume you two are eventually headed to the shop.
Well, yes. So yeah.
All right, so after an appropriate amount of time, the 4 of you have gathered yourselves back into the place where you were assaulted very recently.
After stopping back at Shaw's flat to get him some fresh clothes.
Yes. Yeah, his one other pair of clothes. Okay.
All right. We need to decide what's happening next. What are we pursuing?
How are we going to patch that hole?
We need to deal with the hole.
Does the hole... Okay, so you talked about like a stone tunnel.
Yep.
Right? Does this look like a burrow, or does this look like a built tunnel?
You have architecture?
No, but I'm pretty sure somebody does.
I do. I have an point.
So,
does it look like a built thing?
When you look at it, yes, it does. It looks like it was carved. There's a little dust and and some scree. And
right.
Good news, it appears to be some sort of porous rock, so the slime is gone.
Or soaked into the rock.
Yeah.
So does can I tell if this is something that has been there for a long time?
Well, unless someone had a really quiet boring machine.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I mean...
Right, no, absolutely.
So...
To be honest, I'm not comfortable just trying to board over it.
Fill it in with concrete, then.
It's a good option.
You could board it up, just down a little bit, and then pour concrete on it, and then put something else over top that. And I mean, maybe one of those things can still go through concrete. I don't know. But at least you won't have to worry about rats and things coming up.
But is there a nest of them down there?
Oh, good Lord, I hope not.
Maybe there were just toxic vapors causing hallucination
Exactly.
emanating from the hole.
Yeah.
Of course, that's what happened. And so we need to go down there and check out if we've got some sort of leak.
Leak.
What's that? Castles used to have big pots of you'd pour
Murder holes.
hot stuff on people trying to
Right.
attack.
They're called murder holes.
We should just hot oil. Just pour a bunch down. Should take care of it. Right?
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, if they could ignite any gas trapped down there, it could be a very bad explosion. Especially with all the vapors.
So acid, then, is what you're saying. All right. How long do we have till we need to get back to Dives about that business?
I believe it is currently Saturday, March 24th.
That is correct.
And
Means we have got until the Fletcher is coming on the ship on the 27th. So he arrives in 3 days.
well,
Yeah, I'm personally at a loss for what to do here.
Well, if we can't do anything about it right now, let's leave it be.
Is there let me examine very quickly. I will sniff the air around the hole.
Okay.
Doesn't like anything.
It smells of dust.
earthy.
I don't detect any vapors.
I think this is an ideal place for the do we lick the science chart.
pass me one of your matches, Hughes.
Sure enough, pulls a matchbook out from a rolled up sleeve.
I will light a match and throw it down the hole. And cover my ears and look down.
It goes about a foot before it goes out, and disappears into the darkness.
Well, there's nothing immediately flammable down there.
Oh, well, that was a lovely way to check.
I cast magic missile into the
Well, that's why I sniffed it first, Miss Bailey.
All right. We're going to leave this problem be for the moment. Let's list our other problems.
All right.
So there's the hole is problem one.
I said other.
There's Mr. Dives getting the book for him.
There's
Shaw's got a couple days worth of resting up before he'll be at 100%, I think.
What about St. George and the Isle of Dogs?
Oh.
Remind me?
Something to do with our...
Oh, yes. The paper note we found was...
The star chart thing.
Yep.
The points of origination of the vectors were on the Isle of Dogs and
Oh,
St. George
right.
in the East Church.
I've absolutely no idea what to do with that.
Let's try and frame it this way, then. What if we got that's actionable? What have we got to do?
Well, there is the hole.
We could fill in the hole.
We're in the hole for the moment. Because no one has a good answer yet. So while we think about it, let's address
concrete's an excellent answer, personally.
So, also, the group of you being professionals, you are aware any threat to you, especially if it's a threat that has arisen due to a commission you have accepted, could also be falling back on the person who gave you the commission.
Right.
So there's the possibility you may want to go warn Mr. Dives, or perhaps do some snooping around Mr. Dives to see what exactly he's gotten you into.
Do we want to, related to the book, do we want to look into this Von Kant individual?
And of course, you still haven't found Ambrose Bowers, who is supposedly the person who currently has the book.
Mm.
I don't know if we want to be drawing her attention right now.
No, I don't either, but I'm just trying to think of everything.
Right, no, that's...
I think we should at least be aware that that's a thing to be aware of.
I think we should go and confront Dives and ask him what he's got us into here. And also warn him.
And one more. Mallet.
What about him?
Why is he sending thugs to look at my shop?
I can...
I mean, it could be anything.
Of course it could. But the point is we need to find out.
Yeah?
So I'm adding it to the list of problems.
All right.
I might be able to arrange an audience.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Probably.
Let's check in with Dives. To begin.
All right.
And if it makes you happy, Maggie, while we're out, we can
buy some concrete.
We can look into buying some concrete.
Okay.
Think about how much we'd need for a hole this size.
Well, like I said, that's why you've got to put something down first. You know, as a like a platform.
I should note at present, you do not know how far down the hole goes.
Oh no.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is roughly a 40% incline, so it's a steep hill, but it is walkable.
No, I was assuming that we were not going to completely fill it in.
Right. I understand. But still, she's just thinking about a hole this size. How much are we going to need?
Oh, I know. It sounds like mathematics will be involved, so you probably have to ask the professor, not me.
But for the moment, let's see if we can get in touch with Dives.
I'll reach out.
Maybe he's going to that club again. Awful place.
That's the first place I'm going to look.
So you are aware, because Mr. Dives has used your services before, that he maintains presence at the Pymander Club. He also has an address in Pimlico.
It's still morning.
Yes.
Pimlico is not
We
too
assume
far.
he's not at the club.
I'm sorry, say again?
So we can assume he's not at the club then, considering the time.
Possibly not. He's a gentleman of leisure. Where he might go is completely up to him.
It's a Saturday morning, so he may well be at home or have gone for a constitutional stroll by the river or in the parks. I think his residence in Pimlico is the best place to start.
Okay, so Shaw will start heading in that direction, unless...
Do you want company?
Yes.
All right. So
I'll come too.
You coming with us, Anne?
Someone's got to run the shop.
All right.
So the three of you head for Pimlico. As was stated, it doesn't take you that long to get there. As you're coming around, you can see him. He has just left his house. Let's see. Let me flip back here to my handy dandy investigator cheat sheet. No. Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Also, as someone who is trained in gauging people's reactions and honesty, Mr. Dives appears to be headed out in a manner that indicates he does not care for anyone to know where he's going. He has not summoned a cab. He is walking. Also, both all of you can tell that Mr. Dives, for the address he is keeping, he has dressed down a bit. Do you wish to accost him and demand answers? Do you wish to follow him? Do you wish to let him go on his way and pretend none of this ever happened? What would you like to do?
A man doesn't want to be seen.
Well, too bad, because we saw him.
No, do you see it, though? He's dressed down. He's not hailing a cab, he's walking. Something's going on.
So follow.
I'm thinking follow. You good with that, Professor?
Very well.
All right. Who wants to give me a shadowing test?
What?
Shadowing is a general ability.
Okay. I have stealth. Is that?
That is not the same thing.
Okay. Then that's probably going to be Shaw.
I will spend 2.
All right.
Which will give me a total of 8.
8. Well done.
I'm
All
going
right.
to go back to the store and tell Miss Bailey what you're both doing.
I know when I'm not needed.
All right. So the professor breaks off, and our two miscreants follow Mr. Dives. He walks not far at all into the city of London, cutting across a couple of places, eventually arriving at a nondescript Victorian office frontage at 84 Mitre Street. He goes in, and it is clear that following him at this point would almost absolutely necessitate being noticed, because he walks into a building that is a narrow staircase going up.
Is there any indication of what sort of office we're looking at here?
Not on the outside of the building.
No signs, nothing like that. Okay.
No.
Is it so it could be a residence?
The spaces around you are office spaces.
Go around the back. Are there any like bins?
Do you have a skill you'd like to deploy in looking for information?
Streetwise?
Possibly streetwise. Let me take a look at my options.
I'd also like to point out that I have sense trouble 8, so.
No.
I'm not coming up with anything that immediately makes sense. I don't think Filch helps me here, even though I'm rifling through people's trash. I was thinking maybe conceal to know like how someone would hide something if I was looking for it, but I think that's a stretch.
A document analysis for going through the receipts.
Is not as much of a stretch as what I was thinking. So that's
well, you're able to locate the bins, which don't actually have a whole lot of paper in them. There are a couple of discarded meal boxes. But what you are able to deduce from Streetwise, looking up, counting, looking down, and what Maggie is able to deduce from architecture is, if this place is divided up like most city office buildings are divided up, there's at least one space, probably 2 or 3 in here that are not occupied. There's not enough trash in here for that many places.
The entrance to the building, you mentioned a narrow staircase going up. Is that the only entrance to the building?
That is the only entrance to the building. It's like a row home. There's not really space to either side. You had to go around the block to get to where the back of the building is.
Is there a list of like names next to doorbells?
No. There are no doorbells outside. There's a front door that leads in. But whatever building this is, it doesn't advertise its business on the outside.
Well, we can't risk going in.
We could.
Probably
not worth it.
Probably not. I can stake out here and wait until I see him.
Yeah, how long is it? I mean, you can't stay in there for...
I don't know. I won't stay past nightfall.
I'm staying with you.
All right, then we won't stay past nightfall.
All right, so the two of you stake out the building. I'll get back to you. Professor Handley, Miss Bailey.
Hang on.
Shop.
Hang on.
Yep.
Before professor returns.
Yes.
After everybody leaves. Bookseller go down the hole.
Oh,
Oh boy.
well.
I
Armed with your torch, I
and a
presume.
crucifix.
And a crucifix.
Yes. And my gun.
And a gun, yes.
You're cheating.
You go down
I tried
the
to
hole.
die first. Man.
So the tunnel space is almost exactly 6 feet in diameter.
I've left a note
So
on the next to the till.
you probably
Okay.
have about an hour and a half from when we leave before I get back.
The tunnel goes down for about 50 or 60 feet. At this angle, you would guess, you're not sure, but you're probably now beneath the old theater that you're adjoined to, which leaps into your mind because as you flash the light around, as the tunnel opens up into maybe a 40 by 40 room, it looks. The first thought is a theater. The second thought is church. There's a set of stone benches set up like pews, going 6 deep to either side of you that lead up to a semicircle raised dais that is bare, nothing on it, other than the stone benches which would survive the test of time. The dais itself, there is no furniture, no markings of any, except for when your light lands on the space behind the dais. And that's when you see it. Carved into the rock is that. That symbol.
Huzzah!
Etched and marked, cut out into the wall.
But nothing. Are there any other exits from this space?
When you walk around the space, there is a doorway, essentially catty-cornered from the tunnel leading up to you.
Okay.
A hanging open gate that when you peer into it, you can you would appreciate the professor having done the smell test before you came down, because there you can, oh, that's the sewers.
Okay. All right. I'm going back up.
You wish to close the large iron door that has been hanging open, making enough noise to wake the dead.
I really hope it has a lock. I didn't ask that before I started.
Hi, Arlo.
Oh, hi.
It does, and
Okay.
it's working.
Did you say it's not working?
It is working.
Okay.
It is a push. It's just like a safety bar. You just push it in. You push it into the rock.
Okay. I do that, and then I get the hell out of there.
Okay.
Wait, do I have... wait, I need to check my investigative abilities. I don't know. Ooh. Anthropology? Archaeology. I like archaeology better.
Archaeology. Would you like to just use the ability, or would you like to spend a point?
Let's go ahead and spend.
Okay. This thing has come up a few times in various archaeological reports you have read. And it's referred to as a glyph. The only name that comes up consistently is the Yellow Sign.
Cue ominous music.
And the Yellow Sign in archaeological records relates to some god that has no name, according to the records. He's always referred to as the Great Unnamed One.
All right, cool.
Is it cool?
So do I leave without incident?
You do.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm not dead.
About 45 minutes later, the professor comes in.
Or even crazy. I'm neither dead nor crazy.
Yeah.
Because you can't put any of this in context yet.
Yeah.
Ah, Miss Bailey, let's have a cup of tea, shall we?
Several.
Well, one at a time. Well, the others have decided to follow that Dives off. We saw him from across his street, and rather than do the straightforward thing and just talk to him, they wanted to skulk along in the shadows, so I thought I should come back here instead.
I'm sure you made the right decision.
Oh, yes, likewise.
All right, I'm going to leave you two for a second and jump back to our miscreants. The two of you are loitering at a chip shop about half a block away. When about an hour after you've been there, Dives comes out and starts walking away.
Carrying anything new?
Nope.
Walking back towards his house, or where?
He does appear to be headed back towards Pimlico.
All right. It's decision time. Do we follow him, or do we check out the place? What you think?
Well, presumably there's someone in there. I think we should follow him and talk to him.
But probably whoever's in there won't know us. The reason we didn't go in before is because Dives would have seen us. Now we can go in and just be people off the street.
And do
Sorry,
what?
we got lost. We're looking for directions.
Sure. Fine. I don't know where your mind's going, but I'll follow your lead.
I'm just curious what he's up to.
All right.
I don't like him. I don't trust him. And I'm sure as hell not going to ask him about it. So. I'm sure as hell not going to ask him about it.
All right.
So.
Stop petting the Hastard.
Quick, say it 2 more times.
So the two of you are going into the office.
Yes.
Okay. Well, sure enough, as your instincts indicated, there are 5 offices in here. 2 on the right at the landing, 2 up above, and then 1 at the top. Only 2 offices in here are occupied, and both appear to be shut because it's Saturday. On the second floor landing, there is a solicitor's office, and on the top floor landing, there is an architect's office.
Architect first.
Yeah, I don't know why I had the same thought, but I'm with you.
Well, because city mancy and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The glass on the door indicates it is Porus and More Architects.
Porus and More?
Porus and
Yes.
More? But wait, there's more. We'll give it a good...
You received no answer.
I will wait a moment, knock again, assuming the same thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
You still received no answer.
And then try the handle.
It is locked.
Are there lights on?
No. There is light coming in. There are windows.
But windows. Okay.
Right.
What are you standing there for? Are we going in or not?
Yeah, all right. So, locksmith.
Locksmith. Door comes right open. Where you are greeted by, if these are architects, they are the weirdest architects you've ever seen, because you are greeted by an outer office that is covered in dust, looks barely used. There is a desk, there is a chair, there is a lamp, which incidentally has no bulb, a phone on the desk which has no cord, and a file cabinet behind the desk.
Is there so much dust that does it look like the door has not been opened today?
No. No. There are in fact potentially some traces on the floor if there's an investigative ability to be used.
File cabinet, then?
Yeah, that's more your area.
And there's also inside desk, chair, file cabinet, and a door in the wall.
In the
wall of the office.
Yeah, like another
an adjoining room.
Okay. I was like to the
another room. On the second floor. Hey,
Okay,
it's Call of Cthulhu, man.
I know. Well, that's why I was concerned. Okay, cool.
You want to look in the other room, and I'll look in the file cabinet?
Sure.
Okay. So,
closed and locked at the front door, by the way.
Okay. So, Miss McGill, you go to the file cabinet, you open it. The only thing inside it is a ledger.
Okay.
Quickly flipping it open. Do you have accounting?
Probably not.
Ooh. No, I don't have it either. Never mind.
So you see a series of even amounts that appear to go out monthly based on the dates.
What are the dates? Is it recent, like this year?
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
But
and it just...
You can't make heads or tails of it.
Okay.
Of what it might mean, other than regular disbursements are being made.
Going back how far?
Yeah.
This year.
So it's just for this year, and it goes up until recently. Okay.
And it actually goes past the current date. So it has January, February, March. It also has April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
The whole way through. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Mr. Hughes, you go to the other door. Do you wish to use locksmith, or do you wish to spend a point on locksmith?
Use.
Okay. So you go with your tools, and the lock comes open, but when it does, something springs inside, and there's a scratch that you leave as you pull your tools out that makes it very obvious you have picked this lock.
Well,
burn the place down.
Yeah. And our there. No, do not pass go. Do not collect your note.
Time for arson. No.
Yeah. So he turns to Maggie and with this like the dog just chewed up several rolls of toilet paper kind of face. And says, "Oh, they're gonna know we're here. Well, they're not gonna know
someone was here. That's all.
Right.
They're just gonna know someone was here.
So I hope we get something useful out of this. What was in the cabinet?
Just a ledger, payments. I'm gonna throw it in my bag.
Yeah, as long as we've been had anyway. Well, cool. All right. Well, damage is done, so look behind the door.
All right. So you open that door, and you find a far busier space.
Hmm.
So the floor itself is empty. There's no furniture of any kind in here. Well, there's nowhere to sit. No chairs, no tables. There is a bookshelf stacked with books. There is a board that has a large ordnance survey map with pins and markings on it. There is a work table with a bunch of different bottles and stuff on it. But the thing that immediately attracts your attention
is the Nagaae.
is the large drawing on the floor.
Oh boy.
It consists of 2 circles overlapping and then a diamond put in the middle. I think I have an image of this. Give me just a second.
It's the nebula.
Not
That's
exactly.
my version of it.
Looks like that.
Oh no, that's not it at all. Fun.
Yay, geometry.
And as the two of you look at it, do either of you have a cult?
Yes.
So this is what's referred to in occult circles as a vesica piscis.
Okay.
It literally translates as a fish bladder.
Right.
In occult circles, it represents fish, fertility, the intersection of 2 different realms or dimensions, usually heaven or hell, but sometimes heaven and earth. Doorways, boundaries, the square root of 3, and divine power.
Okay.
Sorry, furious note taking ensued.
Yep.
Absolutely. Take your time before you get your notes.
Same.
Um,
This is a occult symbol.
yeah?
Not
And-
sure what. Oh.
Incidentally, as you look at it, and also I sent everybody the picture in Messenger. You look back up at the symbol at the drawings on the large ordnance survey and realize that is also a vesica piscis.
Okay.
Oh no. I have a significant rating in the knowledge.
Yeah. So do I.
So do I know what all these places are?
So-
Where all these pins are?
You go forward to look at the map. You have to move a couple of things. There are newspaper clippings, various geometric calculations pinned in different places. But when you look through it and you look at it with knowledge, the symbol, the diamond symbol in the center, connects to 4 sites in Whitechapel: Hanbury Street, Burner Street, Bucks Row, Dorset Street, and 1 in the City of London, Mitre Square, which, incidentally,
Is
the
where we
office
are.
we're in
Yes.
looks out on.
Sorry,
So-
Hanbury Street, Dorset Street. What did
Bucks
it-
Row and Dorset Street.
Yeah. So Hanbury Street, Burner Street, Berner Street, Bucks Row, Dorset Street, and then one space in the city, Mitre Square. And then the knowledge, as well as law and history. You all know these places. You know these places like the back of your hand. There's one of the most popular gruesome stories in London. all of these are sites where Jack the
bodies
Ripper
were
was.
found. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yep.
Wee. Okay. Shit.
So you have pattern on the ground. You have the ordnance map with its clippings. You have a the lab table, and you have the bookshelves.
Tell me about the clippings.
Clippings, and how are you what would you like to use to examine the clippings?
My eyes.
My supple fingers.
I mean,
They are news reports of events that have happened there.
Okay.
In the locations they are pinned to.
Let me double check. I have history as well as having occult and the knowledge.
Okay, so most of the reports refer to all of them because they're referring to these locations. Usually refer to the history of that particular location, but they're also usually some sort of accident or unfortunate event befell someone in that place.
In addition to...
Yes.
Okay. All right, bookshelf.
Are there, and I hesitate to ask this, are there pins in places where something hasn't happened yet?
No.
Okay. OJ.
Yeah. Yeah, if there was a pin in the bookshop, I was gonna be.
Yeah, that would be a
big no. Bookshelf.
Bookshelf. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it'll be the milk bar.
It'll be
No.
Is nothing sacred?
Not really.
Well, it seems like everything is sacred at this point.
All right, so a couple of things on the north wall. First thing is there are bound copies of the Times of London dating back to for 1888 to 1891. The series of bookshelves also holds about 250 or so books on various topics. Skimming the bindings, you see the architecture of Nicholas Hawksmoor, books on the sociology of the East End, some books on Welsh legendary, geometry and topology books, and several books on the crimes of Jack the Ripper. To include, Shaw, you have bibliography, do you not?
I do. I better.
So,
yeah, I do.
As was mentioned in the first adventure, in your first session, one of the things Dives is famous for is this huge cutthroat battle he had for a 1510 edition of Euclid.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the shelf.
Ooh. Oh boy.
Wait, did he win that or not?
He did.
He did, and it's here.
Right.
Who, buddy? Well, how?
So he's up to no good.
Yeah, but it.
Or maybe he's up to much good. I don't know.
Yeah, not sure. As tempting as that book is, I think we should probably leave it. Because if it comes to light that we have it, he'll know who broke it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But at least we know where he keeps it. He might move it. Well, it's a shame. That's a crying shame.
If anything were to happen to him.
Whoa.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying if anything were to happen to him, it would be a shame if it just sat here with no one to look after it.
That's true.
Yes, that's all I'm saying. Sheesh.
All right, well. I'm not sure what to do with a lot of this.
Well, I mean, obviously he knows about... So...
But it was.
Wait a second. How does this fit with what we saw at his mother's house?
This isn't Dives'. That wasn't Dives' mother's house.
Oh, was
No,
it?
that wasn't Dives.
No,
That was
Ambrose Bowers, the guy who
Ambrose Bowers, right, okay.
who, as far as you know, owns the book.
Right.
On the other hand, wasn't our friend Drummel looking up a bunch of stuff like this?
It was
Trying to get about stuff like this, Jack the Ripper and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Is he playing both sides? Do you think?
Oh, is Dives hiring us both to see who can get it? Entirely possible. I think that's why we need to have a word with him.
Well, we know he was headed back to his house, probably. So, do we want to go tell Anne? Or do we just want to go straight to him?
Do we want to check the solicitor's office downstairs? Since we're here, I mean.
Do you want to check the chemical table that's still in the room?
Sure. Yes, we would love to.
I missed that there was one. Yes, let's do that.
And seeing as I have chemistry,
well, so this is a compact chemical lab. There are burners, alembics, other such materials, and rows and rows of sample jars shelved right behind the material. And it's labeled in what Shaw recognizes as Dives' fussy little handwriting. Without opening any of it, you can see that some of it looks like there's earth, and the earth is marked with the names of the various Hawksmoor churches, as well as other churchyards in the region. There's some clear fluids that are marked with street addresses that might then be like water drawn from like sewer mains. And then there are a couple of jars that are sealed that don't appear to have anything in them, but they're also marked with street addresses.
Okay, so it's air.
Well, with the knowledge, Shaw could guess that it's either air, but each of those specific locations are places where street lamps are that used to be powered by illuminating gas rather than electricity.
Okay. What's all this mean?
Magic.
What?
I mean,
magic. You can draw the funny symbols you want. Doesn't make you a wizard.
No, I didn't say that it worked, but I think that's what he's thinking. He's doing well. The book, Megalomancy.
Mega Polish something.
Mega Polish something. Yes, exactly. Mega Polish something.
Yeah.
Has to do with the magic of cities and places and locations and remember the angles and for the flat and things like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of math on that map.
There is. So maybe he did that spell back at the place. Well, whatever it was.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. But
I mean, these are air and water and earth from specific places.
What's his motivation for? I don't know if that makes any sense.
I don't know either, but then I don't know what it is that he's trying to do here.
Because he's already got us after the book. If he knows Bowers has it, then what are we for? If he can just get it himself.
I don't know.
All right, well, take what you want.
So both of you have sufficient credit rating to be aware that it would be inappropriate for someone of Dyes' station to speak to someone of Bowers' station. The two of them occupy radically different economic classes.
Well, okay, but it's not great for him to be speaking either by that same token, right?
Yeah. Well, no, because you're the help.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Additionally, it is entirely possible Dives doesn't know Bowers has the book. You found that out.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Yeah. We found that out, and we know
that guy, Drummel.
We know, yeah, he knows. Drummel. All right. Well, take what you want from all of this.
Oh no, I'm leaving his chemistry set here. I can't do anything with that.
Oh, but like the papers and stuff, the clippings.
Well, I've been making notes.
All right, let's check the office downstairs and get
out of here. Yeah.
Okay. As you're headed back,
should I leave the ledger or not? You think? I don't think there's anything in here that's. It just says that he's making payments to someone, but it doesn't say who.
Yeah, if it doesn't say who, it's not really useful.
All right. I'll write down what the amount is and like what the dates are.
Great.
And yeah.
So as you're putting the ledger back, making a few notes to yourself on the desk, I need both of you to give me a sense trouble roll.
Oh.
Footsteps on the stairs.
2.
3.
Oh. Then the two of you are standing there at the desk as you hear the key turn in the lock.
Under the desk.
Sure.
Well, then give me a stealth test.
I will be spending. I will be spending lots. Yes. Because I'm still at a penalty.
I mean, is it in any way plausible that no, never mind.
No, because it's okay, I think, because if he's coming back in here, he's probably going to the adjacent office.
Right.
And not so like he's not going to be sitting down out here. It should be okay, but we'll see.
Spending 3.
Okay.
I will also be spending 3. Yes. Which is
Which gives me a total of a 7.
You know, I spent 3 and I rolled a 1, so I still don't make it because my stability is still in negative. So I needed a 5.
So door comes open. Two of you are diving under the desk. You hear footsteps, and just over the sound of the footsteps, you hear which turns out to be Shaw shaking from the moment of panic.
Shit.
And you hear the key in the other lock, and it stops. And when you were kids, you hid under the bed, but then your parents saw your foot sticking out. And so you're at that moment where you can't see that the person has seen you, but you know they have.
Yeah. We're made.
Mr. Hughes. Comes the voice of Johnstone Dives.
Has the doors open?
The front door is open, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You should come out from under my desk now.
Shaw gives Maggie a look and and then crawls out from under the desk. Morning.
So I'm waiting for why I shouldn't summon the authorities.
Well, I came to find you because I had a warning for you. But you were acting kind of strange. Your current attire, and your little walk down here. I didn't know what to think. I thought maybe we were being double-crossed, or... I don't know. I didn't like it. So, I wanted to figure it out. Confronting you is straight out of the question. So, thought I'd do a
you
little
broke
sneaking
into
around.
my premises.
I'll admit to it, yeah. If it means anything to you, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Simply this, then. In exchange for my not calling the authorities and sending you and possibly Miss Bailey and everyone you work with to prison, you will acquire me the book at cost.
All right, deal.
Excellent. Now get out.
Don't want my warning, then?
I suppose.
It's at this point that Shaw, like, moves his shirt over to reveal the... We were attacked by a thing.
Can you be more specific?
Well, we've been calling it a dog. Don't think that's what it is. Point of it is...
Can you describe it?
Not sure I should. I still don't know where you stand in all this, but it's like a real messed up frog. 3 eyes.
I imagine more than 3 eyes. Messed up frog, possibly with claws at the end.
Here, Shaw's eyes go a little. He goes a little bug-eyed. Goes, yeah.
The Nagaae.
The what?
Nagaae. Nagaae.
And why do you know that is?
If you have been rummaging through my room, you may have some idea how I know.
All right.
They are the spawn of the serpent-bearded one, called Beatis.
Well, we think that thing might be related to Von Kant somehow.
Birgit von Kant.
Right.
You have encountered her.
Not me personally, but she came to the shop asking after the book. I'm given to understand and gave her the runaround, but...
Keith roll d6.
All right. 3.
Mrs. von Kant is a member of a fledgling organization in Germany. Refers to itself as the Anna Nerbe. If she has come to your place and she has sent the minions of Beatis around you, your alarm is understandable, and your warning appreciated. We shall resume our original business arrangement. Clearly, this has become more hazardous than I had originally intended for it to be for you. Your decorum lax here, intruding into my space and into my affairs. However, you appear to have had a rough time of it. So we will let this go for now. But you will leave immediately. You shall not return here again. If you wish to contact me, you contact me at my home in Pimlico. Or at the club. Do we understand one another?
I never saw this building in my life.
Excellent. Good day, Mr. Hughes.
I hope so.
He waits till you walk out, and he shuts the door and locks it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And then he opens his murder shrine.
Sorry.
And Maggie, while you hide under his desk, you hear first you hear the slipping of fabric, and then you can hear chanting. What do you do?
Shoot him.
Jesu Domine.
Dona eis requiem. So he's in his little back room there.
Yep.
Has he closed the door?
No.
I'm gonna stay put.
Okay. And so you are still there when something answers him.
Fuck!
In his chanting.
Hey, how's your stability?
Miss McGill, would you please give me a stability test?
I'm so sorry. I spent 3. The chances of that happening were... Oh, God.
3.
3. Let's see. So, you don't speak any of the languages that are being spoken by Johnstone Dives or by the distant and sepulchral voice that is answering him. But the truth of it seeps through the symbol of worlds connecting and out into the room, and you can feel as though you're here under the desk. Dives is in the next room, and he is speaking to something that is both very, very far away and immediately under your feet. As though it were watching with a half-closed eye and trying to determine whether it was pleased by what it saw. You lose 4 points of stability and 1 point of sanity.
There it is.
All right.
You may now choose to flee the space. You may attempt to run to the door and unlock it, or you may attempt to go to the window and test gravity. Your choice. If you go to the window, you will be out of Dives' line of sight.
When he locked the door, was it like a deadbolt lock or like a key lock?
It's a latch.
Okay, so I can just flip that.
Yep. There's a good chance. So to lay it all out, you could go to the door and get out. He will probably see you.
He's not preoccupied by what he's doing right now.
You can't see.
That's true.
You haven't looked into the murder shrine to see
no, I
what is
know I
going
haven't
on.
looked in
This
there.
is all an audio play right now.
Yes. I don't think I want to add a broken leg to the badness of my day. So
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with the door.
All right. So you come out to go to the door, and then you get to see Johnstone Dives. His jacket, waistcoat, shirt are removed. He is bare-chested. He is stripped to the waist, and he is kneeling in the center of the Vesica Piscis, speaking to an eye that is looming and glowering over him. And the thing you notice is the eye is it's like a sleepy eye. It's kind of slow. It's a little closed, not quite closed, but not fully open either. Please give me another stability test.
And this is at a negative? Just us two.
Yes, because now you're negative.
I rolled 4.
Okay, so that will be another 3 stability, please. That's a big floating eye, just in the middle of the space.
Gotta go.
Yep.
Time to go.
And you don't. Dives actually seems focused on the eye. The eye, however, is looking out of the room.
That's fine.
At you.
That's fine. I'm leaving.
You do.
Yes.
You run and you run and you run. And we'll get back to you. Professor Handley and Miss Bailey. While all of this has been going on,
Yes?
the trade today isn't bad. You have a couple of people come in. You manage to place at least the door to the broom closet back, sort of hanging back in place, so that people don't go walking down the hole. So Professor Handley returns in the morning traffic. You only have a few people in the store. Inform him of anything when he returns about things you found, things you've seen.
Sorry, you broke up there.
Sorry. Would you like to inform Professor Handley of anything you saw or anything you have discovered in his absence when he returns?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
In between customers, going to show him the yellow sign and ask if he's ever seen it before.
Oh. So
I make a
Handley.
sketch of it. I don't require him to come to the basement.
Out of character, I'm going to assume I have cryptography 1, occult 1, so I might, but I might not. I don't know. Have I seen it?
So this will be a use of occult. Do you wish to use occult, or do you wish to spend a point from occult?
I will. Oh, I cannot spend a point because I'm shaken.
Oh, that is correct.
Then
All right,
I will.
well, hang on. So, can I determine, because I have a psychoanalysis, is it clear to me that he is shaken?
Absolutely. He is pale. He is sweating in March in London.
Can I talk him down before I?
To be fair, I sweated much in London.
Yes. Since the two of you were having tea, you have a pleasant conversation about nothing consequential at all.
Hand is shaking.
You may spend psychoanalysis points to improve his stability.
But if I spend, he gets 2, right?
Yes.
Is that enough to bring you out of shaken?
That brings me to 0 exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I'll spend 2. We'll pull you
Okay,
up.
so that gives you 4.
Yeah.
So Professor, you regain 4 stability.
Okay. Well, what a lovely conversation.
And then I show him the yellow sign.
All right. So once again, so now we can legitimately ask the question, Professor, would you like to use occult? Would you like to spend a point from occult?
I will spend a point.
Okay.
On my 1 point, because let's assume maybe it was in Fletcher's papers.
It was not. This was not.
Okay.
However, in the books you've been pulling down from the shelf to try and improve your occult knowledge and understand how these sort of they refer to like telluric forces and etheric vortexes and other nonsense, but they also refer to a lot of names. And you have seen this symbol before. And when she mentions the great unnamed one, you realize that this is the sign of a figure referred to at. He's given a name and a title. In addition to being named one. Actual translation languages, the great unnamed one. He is the great unnameable one. Called Hastur, or the King in Yellow.
Most interesting, I have seen this before. It is known as the Yellow Sign. Although, I don't quite know why. Well, actually, thinking about it, in one of those strange books, I was just reading, because they were cited through Fletcher's papers, it mentions a yellow sign, yes. The sign of a king in yellow who is unnameable, yet has a name of Hastur, or similar. Hastur, yes.
So the second time you...
What do you expect?
The building darkens visibly. And what used to be like the lights hanging from the ceiling, for a moment, the bookshop seems almost lit by torchlight, distant torchlight, casting strange shadows across the shop. That lasts for about 5 or 6 seconds and then fades away. I would like both of you to make stability tests, please.
Oh boy. 6.
So, Professor, you are able to handle this with aplomb. Miss Bailey, you are going to lose 2 stability.
Miss Bailey, which book did you see this in? Maybe I didn't read it yet.
It's not in a book.
Oh, it is.
You're very trying sometimes.
I do try.
It's in the basement.
I didn't know you had a basement.
Neither did I. But you did see the way to get to it.
I think I follow you, but I'm not sure I like that.
Well, then perhaps you should actually follow me. Lock the door.
As you
Yes.
foist the Saturday traffic out the door, that is when Mr. Hughes comes walking back around the corner, looking dismayed. Let's call it dismayed.
Hughes, have you seen the yellow sign?
You what? Which?
Come in.
Where's Maggie?
We had a situation. I think she'll be all right.
I beg your pardon.
She knows how to handle herself. She'll probably be fine. So we followed Dives to a sort of office he's keeping. Very well, he didn't want anyone knowing he was there. Mags and I thought that was suspicious, so we did the suspicious thing and checked it out after we thought he had left. He's got a room. There's a big sign on the floor. Like angles, it's like circles, and there's a big triangle in the middle of it, and it makes these diamond shapes. Whatever. And he's got a map, the same symbol on it. Maggie said something about like gateways, heaven and earth. I couldn't make heads or tails of it, but so he's some sort of magician, I think.
Well, he was never that good at mathematics, so it would make sense if he had a second career.
The shade. He came back. He didn't see Maggie, but he saw me. So I had to explain myself. Told him I thought what he was doing was suspicious and that I was there to check it out, and was fairly straight with the man. To include the dog. He knows what the dog is.
And on that note, make a note to yourself that you want to finish that explanation, because that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
That's a great point. He knows what the dog is, and there's that moment of like, and then the black.
It means we have next time on Bookhounds.
Oh yeah,
London, you left her
there.
Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you so very much.
And I should point out, I am now at -6 stability, which I believe means I am the proud recipient of a permanent insanity.
Nice.
We will talk about what having your mind blasted means over the next fortnight, and what your compatriots will find when you return to the store. All right.
Yay.
So thank you all for coming. Don't forget, you get 2 more build points to add to your stuff. Incidentally, with the information on the yellow sign, based on the information you're going to be able to share, Cthulhu Mythos is now available for purchase.
Yeah.
However, also remember that your maximum sanity is equal to 10 minus your Cthulhu Mythos rating.
No. But
so if you currently have a sanity of 10 and you buy a point, your sanity goes down.
Is there any way to regain sanity? There's not, no?
No.
Okay.
And you can't.
Ability can be regained, sanity cannot.
Well, I have 9 sanity, so I may as well lend some Mythos.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you for stopping in. If our one fan showed up, Phil, thank you for stopping in. And we will pick this up again in 2 weeks. Good night and good luck.
Bye, Phil.